Aita 9M met Olivia to 6F at my buddy Jake's housewarming party last September. We instantly clicked, same taste in obscure indie bands, both loved hiking, and she laughed at my terrible jokes. We exchanged numbers and started texting almost daily. Our first date was at this little hole-in-the-wall type place she knew about. The conversation flowed so naturally it felt like we'd known each other for years. We closed the place down, and when I walked her to her car, there was this moment where we just looked at each other under the streetlight. The kiss that followed felt like something straight out of a movie. Over the next 3 months, we fell into a comfortable routine. We'd see each other 3 to 4 times a week, dinner dates, Netflix nights at my place, weekend hikes, even a weekend trip to a cabin upstate. She'd leave a toothbrush at my apartment. I kept her favorite snacks in my pantry. Everything seemed perfect. Sure, we never explicitly had the talk about being exclusive, but I thought it was obvious. We were practically living together half the time. She'd introduced me to her friends as the guy I've been seeing, and I'd started bringing her to family dinners. My mom already loved her and was not so subtly asking when I'd lock it down. Last Friday night, I was supposed to be working late. My company had a big client presentation on Monday, and our team was putting in overtime to finalize everything. Around 9 p.m., my boss told us we'd made enough progress and to go home and rest over the weekend. I was actually relieved. Olivia had mentioned grabbing drinks with some work friends at the Fox and Hound, a pub near her office, and I thought I could surprise her. When I walked in, I spotted her immediately at a corner table. She was laughing, head thrown back, looking gorgeous in the blouse I'd complimented her on that morning when she'd left my apartment. What I didn't expect was the guy next to her, his arm casually draped around her shoulders, fingers playing with her hair in a way that spoke of familiarity. I stood frozen by the entrance, watching as she leaned into him, whispering something in his ear that made him laugh. Then she kissed him, not a friendly peck, but the kind of kiss we shared when we were alone. My stomach dropped to the floor. I must have made some noise because she looked up and saw me. The smile fell from her face, replaced by shock. I turned and walked out, my phone already buzzing in my pocket with her calls. When she caught up to me outside, her explanation floored me. We never said we were exclusive. I didn't think we were official. Those words kept replaying in my head as I drove home alone, her tearful explanations and pleased to talk still ringing in my ears. 3 months of what I thought was building something real. And apparently, we weren't official. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat on my couch, staring at the wall, surrounded by little reminders of Olivia, her favorite mug in my kitchen sink, the throw blanket she'd brought over because she said my apartment was always too cold, a pair of her earrings on my coffee table that she'd taken off while we watched a movie the night before. My phone kept lighting up with her messages. Please let me explain. It's not what you think. Can we talk, please? I didn't know we were exclusive. I really care about you. Around 3 a.m., I finally replied. Who is he? Her response came immediately. Just someone from work. It's nothing serious, like what we had. I wondered how many others there had been while I was falling for her, thinking we were building something real. The next morning, she showed up at my apartment. I almost didn't answer the door, but part of me needed closure. She looked terrible, eyes red and puffy, hair a mess. For a brief moment, I felt a pang of sympathy, but then I remembered how comfortable she'd looked with that guy's arms around her. I'm so sorry, she started as soon as I let her in. I never meant to hurt you. How long? I asked, keeping my distance. She looked down at her hands. We went on a few dates before I met you. Then it was casual, just drinks occasionally. Last night was the first time anything physical happened again, I swear. I laughed bitterly. So you've been seeing him this whole time? While sleeping in my bed, it wasn't like that, she insisted. I really like you, I just ... I didn't know what we were. You never asked me to be your girlfriend. You never said you wanted to be exclusive. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. We spent almost every night together for 3 months. You have a drawer in my dresser. We talked about taking a trip to Mexico this summer. What part of that seemed casual to you? She started crying again. I know it looks bad. But where I'm from, until you have the conversation, it's not official. I thought maybe you were seeing other people too. Well, I wasn't, I said flatly. Because I thought what we had meant something. It does, she pleaded. I ended things with him last night after you left. I told him I couldn't see him anymore because I want to be with you, officially. The sad part was, a small piece of me wanted to forgive her. 3 months of feelings don't just vanish overnight. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw her kissing him, and I knew I could never trust her again. I think you should go, I said quietly. Please don't end things like this, she begged. We can work through this. I made a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, Olivia. It was a choice. You chose to keep seeing him while letting me believe I was the only one. That's not a misunderstanding, that's lying. She stayed for another hour, cycling through tears, explanations, and promises. Eventually, she left with her toothbrush and the few belongings she'd accumulated at my place, both of us emotionally exhausted. Friends had different takes when I told them what happened. Some said I was overreacting, that without the talk, she technically hadn't done anything wrong. Others were firmly on my side, saying some things should be obvious without needing a formal declaration. It's been 2 weeks now. Olivia hasn't stopped trying to contact me, texts, calls, even emails. Last weekend, she sent flowers to my apartment with a card that read, "I miss us. Please give me another chance." I put them outside my neighbor's door. Mrs. Patel deserved them more than I did. I've been going through the motions: work, gym, occasional beers with friends who try not to mention her name. Jake, whose party started this whole thing, keeps telling me there are plenty of fish in the sea, but I'm not ready to dive back in. Trust isn't something I give easily, and having it shattered like this has left me more guarded than before. The hardest part isn't even the betrayal, it's the doubt. Did I miss something? Should I have explicitly asked her to be exclusive? Was I naive to think that sharing a life for 3 months implied commitment? These questions keep me up at night, replaying every moment of our relationship, looking for signs I might have missed. Yesterday, I ran into one of Olivia's friends, Megan, at the grocery store. I tried to dodge down another aisle, but she caught me by the frozen pizzas. "She's miserable, you know," Megan said, no preamble needed. "She really does care about you. Not enough to be honest with me," I replied, suddenly very interested in comparing calorie counts on pizza boxes. Megan sighed. "Look, I'm not defending what she did. But Olivia's last relationship was with a guy who slept with half the city while telling her they were building a future. When it ended, he threw the 'we never said we were exclusive' card in her face. It messed her up." I looked up from the pizzas. This was new information, so she did to me what her ex did to her. "I think she was scared," Megan said. "The better things got with you, the more terrified she became that history would repeat itself. So she kept this other guy on the back burner as emotional insurance. It's twisted logic, but trauma does that sometimes." I thanked Megan for the insight, but told her it didn't change anything. Whatever Olivia's reasons, I couldn't be with someone who hedged their baits with my heart. Last night, after a week of ignoring her calls, I finally answered. We talked for hours, really talked. With more honesty than we'd managed in 3 months of dating. She explained more about her past and apologized without excuses. I explained why I couldn't continue, regardless of how much I cared for her. "I get it," she said finally, her voice small. "I wouldn't trust me either. We agreed to no contact for a while. Maybe someday we could be friends, but that day is far off." As I hung up, I felt something shift, not forgiveness exactly, but the first step toward moving on. This morning, I packed up the last of her things that she'd left behind: a novel with the bookmark still in it, a pair of fuzzy socks, some hair ties, and mailed them to her address. It felt like closing a chapter. The experience has taught me a lot about communication and assumptions. Next time when I'm ready for a next time, I'll make my expectations clear from the start. No room for misunderstandings or convenient interpretations. But for now, I'm focusing on rebuilding. I joined a hiking group to reclaim something I loved that had become tangled with memories of her. I'm redecorating my apartment, rearranging furniture to erase the ghost of her presence. Small steps toward healing, so that's where things stand. It still hurts, but less each day, and despite everything, I don't regret the time we had. Some lessons are painful but necessary. This one cost me 3 months and a piece of my heart, but it may have saved me years of uncertainty down the road.